Newsfirst, Newsline.
Hello there, a very good evening and welcome to yet another episode of Newsline Live, coming to you live and direct from our Newsfirst studios here in Colombo. Of course, as you all know, your usual host Farah Shaukat Ali is currently overseas, and today, of course, we have a message from Farah Shaukat Ali, who is overseas. He wishes all our viewers and the entire country the best when it comes to dealing with the current COVID-19 outbreak that Sri Lanka is grappling with. Also, he wishes a very, very happy birthday to a very special person who is connected to us here at News First. So that's a message from Farah Shaukat Ali, your usual host of this show. Well, getting to the discussion today, let me first introduce our guest for this evening. Our discussion, of course, is on the Port City Economic Commission bill from the onset. President's Counsel Thisath Wijayagunawardane, he is the Legal Secretary of the Samagi Jana Balawegaya, and today in Parliament, the Samagi Jana Balawegaya presented 8 amendments to the Port City Economic Commission bill. Sir, if you could start off by briefing us on what these 8 amendments were.
8 amendments were the one was the most important amendment was the composition. At present, the bill as it is, the commission members are appointed by the president. Now our proposal is to make it 9 members and 6 members to be appointed ex officio. Those 6 members are the now when it comes to investments, there are 6 government organs which are important. So head of those institutions to be made members of the commission by virtue of their office, and 3 members to be appointed by the president with the approval of the parliament council.
Right. Also, there was an amendment presented by the Samagi Jana Balawegaya. There was at least a request by Dr. Harsha De Silva that was made in Parliament today, requesting the Prime Minister to allow Sri Lankans to invest in this project.
Yeah, that's also one of the amendments that we have proposed. That is to there is a provision in the bill that even if you have foreign currency in bank accounts in Sri Lanka, you can't invest.
So foreign currency accounts holders in Sri Lanka with the foreign currency in the bank accounts in Sri Lanka can't invest.
Can't invest. So that will prevent the Sri Lankans, honest Sri Lankans, investing in the port city. I say honest because if you are a Sri Lankan and live, making your money here, you are doing business here, and if you have earning in foreign currencies, your foreign currencies will be in accounts in Sri Lanka. Right? So honest Sri Lankans investing in the port city is prevented in this bill. So we have brought an amendment to delete that clause.
So if this bill, as you say, is preventing honest Sri Lankans from investing here, who does it allow to invest?
Maybe the Sri Lankans who have in bank accounts overseas and having their money hidden somewhere in some bank account, they can bring that money, but not the Sri Lankans who has earned the foreign currencies in hard way and deposited their monies in the accounts in Sri Lanka.
Well, establishing a financial hub of this nature, of this magnitude, and well, using the illustrations that the government has painted among the general public regarding the success and the magnitude of this project alone, in your analysis of this, the provisions in this bill, are there adequate provisions to deal with corruption within the port city? Because corruption is an issue that Sri Lanka has been grappling with since the time we gained independence. It has been ever growing. Now, when we start something new, is there enough provisions in this bill to deal with corruption?
First and foremost, the commission and the commission members must be corruption free. There should be provisions to prevent commission members and the employees of the commission committing corruption. But as
when you say corruption, you mean bribery and corruption?
Bribery and corruption. Now, there is no provision in the bill to bring to make it a scheduled institution of the under the Bribery Act.
Right.
When it is not a scheduled institution under Bribery Act, and when the officers and the members of the commission are not considered as public servants, then you can't punish them for bribery and corruption. So that provision is not there. That is also one provision, one amendment that we have proposed in our amendments
to the bill. So, what has the reaction been from the government end to this, especially this proposal on corruption? Because the government too professes that they want to do away with corruption.
This will be discussed at the committee stage, which will come up tomorrow. So, if anybody who wants this to this project, we don't say that the project is a bad project. It's a good project for the country. This can be a turning point of our economy. But as if you implement this project through this bill, I don't think that we can achieve that objective, because this is not designed to get the best for the country. I think this is designed to get the best for some individuals. That is what, when you go through the whole act carefully, that's what I can say.
So when you say designed to get the best for some individuals, do you mean get the best in legal terms, or?
No, I mean no, not in the legal terms. When you take the provisions, if you really want to attract foreign investors, genuine foreign investors, there should be transparency. The commission must be transparent. Commission must be corruption free. Then only a genuine investor will come. Genuine investor will look at the composition. When it is when the commission is consist of some officers of the government, the central bank chairman, BOI chairman, secretary of the Ministry of Finance, then they get the confidence to invest. When it is run by some individuals appointed by the appointed by the executive, who he thinks that experts in the field, so they don't get the confidence. And when it is accountable to the parliament, when the commission is accountable to the parliament, then they get the confidence, because there is some government control, there is some check and balances. That is how you draw the that is how you can boost the confidence in people, right? Genuine investors.
However, wasn't the idea of the establishment of a whole financial center in the premises, in the area of control of the port city, to remove it from the control of parliament? There have been provisions for that as well, right?
This is accounting. This commission accounts are not is not
audited by the
Auditor General, and it is not a public corporation. And so because of that, it will not fall within COP and COPA and also parliamentary supervision. That is bad, bad for investments.
So moving forward, the Samagi Janabalawege presented 8 amendments in Parliament today. What are the other amendments?
The one is the composition, and the second one is to make it a public corporation in order to bring it to the bring it within the purview of Article 154 of the Constitution, by which if we bring that amendment, then it comes within the parliamentary supervision. Accounts come within the parliamentary supervision. Then the other amendment is for the Sri Lankans who have foreign currency accounts in Sri Lanka to allow them to allow them to invest. And we are concerned about the security in the and the national security when it comes to this port city. So we have proposed to establish a police station and a navy base, and also we have proposed that to make it a scheduled institution of the Bribery Act.
Well, before we cross into a short commercial break, we've got a question from one of our viewers, and the question to you, sir, is: with the 20th Amendment, the sitting government has all the power. How sure are you that a vote in Parliament for the benefit of the people interested will not go their way? I believe the question is, do you think that the government will try to strong-arm this provision or this bill in Parliament this time around as well?
That we can see that that we'll have to watch tomorrow how the government will react. But if anybody who loves this country is in Parliament, they should agree to these amendments and make it a viable project and a useful project to the country.
Well, there are accusations from the governing end, of course, that the Samagijana Balawegaya or the opposition in general is trying to, pull the legs of the government when it comes to this project. Is there any merit to this?
No, it is not so. Our position has always been that this project should go on and it should be implemented, but not in the way that is proposed by this bill. But it should be done with those amendments. If they agree to bring these amendments, right, then this will be a viable project. This will be a project that will bring prosperity to the country.
Today, again, Dr. Harsha De Silva, speaking in Parliament, said that if the government agrees to these amendments, the Samagijana Balawegaya would support the passage of this bill in Parliament. Does this mean that the government needs to agree to all 8 of these amendments? Or?
Yeah, without all 8, I think all 8 are equally important. But all 8 are important. I think they should agree to all 8, and I don't see any reason not to agree to these amendments. Because we have to understand this bringing in investments is a different matter, and the transparency with regard to the activities of the Commission is a different matter.
So instead of the President appointing all 6, or 5 to 7 representatives of this Commission, you believe ex officio members would enhance the transparency? Wouldn't that increase government involvement?
No, in fact, it is not so. If you take all these ex officio appointees, I think all those ex officio appointees are appointees of the President. So appoint good people to those positions and let those people run this. Well, there should be some government involvement in the Commission. But there should be some government control over the Commission. But the Commission should not. The Commission should act and do their duties to bring investment into the country. When there is government control, good government control, we are talking about good government control. Our amendments are to bring good government control. When there is good government control, there will be more investments coming, genuine investments coming. When there is no government control at all, no genuine industry will come.
When you speak of government control, do you mean control under the executive or control under the legislature?
I think there should be checks and balances. Now, public finance is subject of the Parliament. So accounts must be audited, and with regard to accounts and other accounts, the Commission should be answerable to the Parliament. And the President is appointing these officers, and they should be answerable to the executive. Whatever the executive powers, executive matters, they must be answerable to the executive.
Well, with that, we'll cross over to a short commercial break. We will continue to discuss the content of the Port City Economic Commission bill, which is currently being debated in Parliament, and of course the government intends on passing it into law within the next 24 hours. Stay tuned. You're watching Newsline Live.
Newsfirst, Newsline. Newsfirst, Newsline.
Welcome back. You're watching Newsline Live. So getting back to our discussion on the Port City Economic Commission bill, we first, before the break, we spoke about the 8 amendments that were presented by the Samagijana Balawegaya. Now let me bring to you, because of course we have very little time to discuss this bill, especially among the general public at least. Many people in the country don't really know the true content of this bill, or at least understand the content of this bill. So providing space for that, one of the concerns that have been raised by many professionals is the fact that the provisions in the bill, like you said as well at the beginning, does not provide enough protection from bribery and corruption, which in such a big project should be expected. And also the issue of this financial hub that is considered to, or is thought to be something that can change the economy of Sri Lanka to the better, would turn into a money laundering center. How can this happen? Is there a possibility? How great is the risk?
There's a risk in money laundering happening in this financial city if this bill becomes law as it is. Offshore banking, with regard to offshore banking business, the regulatory powers are with the monetary board.
Under the central bank?
Under central bank. In the port city area, offshore banking business is those regulatory powers would be exercised by the commission. Monetary board gets involved only in two occasions. One, they have to give the concurrence when the license is issued. Then they get involved only if the commission seek the concurrence of the monetary board to cancel or suspend the license.
Right.
In between, the activities are regulated and supervised by the commission.
However, the Supreme Court in their determination held that this two-tier, the parallel system of regulation in the port city area, with the Port City Economic Commission exercising regulatory powers on one side and the other statutory regulatory organs exercising power on the other, is unclear. And they said, the Supreme Court said, that this can be remedied by adding a provision that would make it mandatory for the Port City Economic Commission to always obtain the concurrence of the statutory regulatory bodies that already exist when it comes to exercising regulatory power on their behalf. Doesn't this really remedy the situation?
No, in fact, there was a provision, provision 3, clause 3, subclause 7, that was renumbered by their lordships at clause 71. But that regulatory powers are intact, subject to the provisions of the bill. Right. So, if the provisions had given certain regulatory powers to the commission, those powers are intact. So here, when it comes to offshore banking, certain provisions in the certain powers, most of the powers exercised by the monetary board are exercised by the commission. So, if the commission, the monetary board comes into the picture only when the commission seeks the concurrence of the monetary board to cancel or suspend the license. In between all the inquiries, everything is held by under the supervision of the commission.
So, but even to hold the inquiries, for the Economic Commission to hold the inquiries, they need the concurrence of the monetary board.
It is not there. That provision is not there. So, if the commission is not honest, then there can be, there could be enough money laundering activities through the offshore banking business within the port city area.
Well, let's just say that the Port City Economic Commission bill gets through the way it is and becomes law in Sri Lanka. If such money laundering is taking place, what would be the action that, well, the general public at least on the part could take? Yeah. And what would be the effects that it would have on Sri Lanka?
If it becomes a money laundering haven, then economically that will be bad for the rest of the country. And if it is even if it's a money laundering haven, even if you allow money laundering happening in that in the area of port city, that will not bring any benefit to the country. Right.
There are those who think
at our expense somebody else will be making money. Right. At the expense of the people of this country, somebody else will be making money without any benefit and bringing lots of repercussions, bad repercussions to the very serious repercussions to the general public and the government, because even the monetary international monetary organizations, they will put restrictions on us.
We just moved out of the grey list of money laundering quite recently.
Yes, and we might be
fall back right in.
Oh yes, that could happen. There is possibility of this of these happening within the area of port city if this bill becomes a law, as it is.
And if that does happen, you spoke to us about the repercussions, the effects that it will have on Sri Lanka.
Yeah.
If this bill passes the way it is there nothing that the general public of Sri Lanka can do to remedy this?
Because if the money laundering is happening in the port city area, the first people to notice such an activity is the commission. If the commission is not taking action, then the general public would know. But at the same time, there are few acts that are that is in existence to prevent money laundering activities within Sri Lanka. So those acts would apply, but even to apply those acts, right, somebody should know that this is happening. That is the regulatory and supervisory body. But if they don't take action, right, it will be too late when the other government organizations start taking action.
So at the end of the day, the integrity, the manner of conduct of the members of this commission, according to the act or the bill that is currently in place, and also judging by the amendments that have been proposed by the Supreme Court and even the amendments by the SJB, would be vital for the functioning of the port city, Colombo Port City. In that respect, checks and balances are extremely important. Who are these commissioners really responsible to? Who do they report to?
At the moment, they are responsible only to the executive, that is the president.
Right.
Even then, even the president can't remove a commission member as and when he wants. He must be satisfied that either he is bankrupt or either he is incapable of functioning as a member because of some illness or some other reason, and or he must be satisfied that the commission member is not acting in terms of the or he is involved in the corruption or some activity. So he should be satisfied himself to remove a member.
Finally, sir, my final question to you, since we're running out of time, there have been various factions in Sri Lanka who have called for the postponement of the vote on the Port City Economic Commission bill. They've cited the current COVID-19 pandemic in Sri Lanka. Many people are dying. Yesterday we had 34 deaths, and today Venerable Wijayagunawardane and also Colonel Malcolm Ranjit came forth and said, requested the government to postpone this and focus on more pressing matters. What is the stance of the SJB on that?
No, in fact, we think that our focus at this moment should be on the COVID pandemic and to control this situation. The government as well as the opposition should focus more on that. But unfortunately, this act has been brought to the parliament. So as a responsible opposition, that we have to pay our attention to that bill, that process as well. I think when you look at this bill, it should be subjected to more public discussions and also public, as you said, the public scrutiny, and also people should be educated about this, and people should, government should have allowed the people to express their views. And as I say, as this bill was brought to the Supreme Court, bill was challenged in the Supreme Court on the 15th of April. From that time onwards, the country was not functioning properly. There were lockdowns, there were travel restrictions. So I think even government should discuss this matter with the other opposition parties. If this bill is to bring some good to the country, give it some more time. Take the good suggestions made by the opposition and make it a viable project which is good for the country.
Thank you very much, President's Counsel Wijayagunawardane, for joining us on our show, the Legal Secretary of the Samagijana Balawegaya. We discussed the Port City Economic Commission bill that, according to the government, or the government plans on passing this bill within the next 24 hours. So we will continue our coverage on this important piece of legislation that is being debated in Parliament right now. Stay tuned to News First. Until we meet again, take care and God bless.